in your book, you also talk about when people become overly emotional and some of the impacts that has on us and the way we feel. And you also talk about some ways we can sort of refresh ourselves when we do become overly emotional. Can you talk about some of the ways that we can do that?
Yeah. So, we all can do this as well. I know some people really like to think that they leave their emotions at the door when they come to work. But the thing is, our emotions are critical parts of how we know that we value something and guiding us in how we should interact with someone. We all, to some degree, bring our emotions with us everywhere we go. And there's good value to that. If we didn't, we wouldn't be able to be functioning humans. So when people are saying they leave their emotions at the door, what it probably means is they have good ways of stepping back and regulating and if the emotion is too strong, that they're helping to decrease it to a point where they can be thinking clearly again. And so a few things that we can do is one, you can recognize some of the things that are likely to do that to you. And so for someone who fears public speaking, then you should expect that if you're going to be presenting, you're going to have some very strong emotions, probably fear-related emotions, right? And if you're someone who, or if you have a difficult relationship with someone and you have to have a tough conversation or a performance conversation, right? And then you should expect that that's going to have a strong emotional impact on you and on them, right? And, something that you've been procrastinating, right? And then you need to get to, there's probably going to be some strong anxiety around it, right? So when we know, you can plan ahead a little bit because you kind of, they seem like, oh, these emotions just happen to me, but actually they're pretty regular. They tend to come in response to certain triggers. And in the future, if those situations come up, you're probably going to feel the same emotion, right? So we can plan ahead, and when you do plan ahead, then you can have just a few things in your toolbox. There's a wealth of research on how to regulate your emotions, but a few easy things that should be relevant for any emotion are one, actually breathing, right? So breathing, one of the strong predictors of heart rate is breathing rate. Right? So if you want to be able to change your physiology directly, you can change your breathing, and that will have a very quick effect on your heart rate and then subsequently on other parts of your physiology, right? So if you slow down your breathing, you slow down your heart rate. If you increase it. So, I think there's common sense, right? Count to 10 and breathe, right? Well, that's real, right? So another thing that we can do is that typically when emotions are too strong, they tend to be negative emotions. It is possible to actually create an emotional state. And now many people think of emotions as something that just happened to them, but they always happen in response to a situation. And usually it's in response to how you mentally think of a situation, actually not the situation itself. So we do have a lot of flexibility in what we do. And one thing that is possible is to, actually find some way to laugh, right? To put on some comedy, to talk to a friend, to sometimes to laugh at yourself, or some other positive thing, that it is possible to just think about that positive scenario, and then you will start to experience some of that. You can also do things physically. There's the breathing, but you can, stand up straight and this goes back to William James in the 1890s, really describing this. This is something we've known for a long time, that you can do this. So some of those physical things, actually imagining something positive or having a good laugh, and then also, believe it or not, just taking a nap for 10, 20 minutes. A long nap takes longer to recover from, actually. So 10 to 20 minute nap, great benefits. You recover immediately, so you can start benefiting from it immediately. It really helps you reset in terms of mental fatigue and just kind of like, emotions are physiological, and so they don't turn off in an instant. So you need, some minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for things to kind of shift, to fade little by little. And if you're not continually reigniting the emotion by the way that you're thinking, it will fade.